making my porridge. Soon you're gonna be sorry. Let me grab my thumb.
Hello, Jazzmasters. Hello, Brazil. Oi. Ei aí, tudo bem? This is Xantoné Blacq, and I'm here so you can get to know me a little better.
How do you know when you have found your one true love? There's such a thing really.
I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos. And I started my musical journey and adventure at the age of maybe 3 or 4 when I was playing percussion, playing bongos, congas, agogo, all these kinds of things in church when I was about 3 or 4. So that was the beginning of my connection with music, and also listening to music by people like Stevie Wonder, people like Michael Jackson, people like Julie Andrews and The Sound of Music, you know that film, and Fela Kuti, Chief Ebenezer Obey, you know, King Sunny Ade, all these kind of things. So they were the beginnings of my music and my connection with it.
Digital sampler is funky as hell.
Just like that.
Digital sampler is funky as hell.
I've recorded a few albums of my own, as well as recording albums with other artists. Of my own albums that I've recorded, I've enjoyed them all equally. There is not one which is a favorite of mine. But I would say that when I recorded my first album, To the Heavens and Beyond, that was a real adventure because it was the first time that I was recording my own album. I approached this very much with a sense of challenge. I would think, ooh, could I do a song which is kind of like a Roy Ayers vibe? Or can I do a song which is kind of got some samba in it? Or can I do a song which is like this? And I'll just try these things out. Can I do a song which includes Indian classical music vocalists and has different time signatures? And that's how I went at it. It was just an adventure, and that was a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. I remember recording an album with Paul Jackson, who was the bass player in Herbie Hancock's Headhunters. Now imagine this. Imagine that I have started playing piano when I'm 24. I've started learning to play this instrument. A friend of mine introduces me to an album by some guy called Herbie Hancock, who I'd never really heard of. Not really. And I fall in love with this music. I start learning and studying, and then many years later, I play with the bass player who's on the records that I've been listening to. So it was an amazing experience. It was crazy at times because Paul was a crazy dude. But that is one of the great memories that I remember, working with people like Jason Rebello as well, who's a fantastic musician, of course, performing at Ronnie Scott's in London with Randy Brecker. That was amazing. Of course, performing with Amy Winehouse and touring with her. That was amazing. So there are many different experiences that I've had, which I'm very, very grateful for. And that continues till today, traveling around the world and doing new music and giving people something that makes them feel happy, inspired, and joyful. Yeah.
I know anything's possible. People say that I'm crazy to believe. Some may find it incredible.
The way I started off doing music in groups was doing vocal work. So if you can think of the group Boyz II Men or Jodeci or vocal groups like that. That's the stuff that I started off doing, singing in R&B, soul, vocal groups. And then over time I started listening to jazz, started listening to jazz funk, started learning to play playing the piano, and producing. And then I started evolving and being a solo artist and doing my own thing. Releasing my music and working with different people led to me meeting people. And the keyboard player, who's a fantastic keyboard player called Sam Best, check him out, Beste, Sam Best. He was a keyboard player in Amy Winehouse's band. And he had some kind of life situation with his studies, I think. He was doing a degree, and there was touring coming up with Amy for the Back to Black album. And he did not have the availability to do it. And they were looking for somebody who could play keyboards and could also sing backing vocals. And he knew me, Sam knew me. So he got in contact with me and asked me if I was interested. And the beginning of it was just basically, I got sent the music. I said yes. They sent me the music. This was like December 2006. And they sent me the music just on like the recording of the rehearsals. In fact, I think I started off just listening to the records and learning the music from there. But of course, the music had changed in the way people were playing it. The band was playing it live. So I went to do a rehearsal in January and got the job, which was great. It worked out. And by March 2007, the world had just gone crazy for this album and for Amy. And that was my pathway into playing in Amy's band and touring and doing all the wonderful things we did. Like we performed at the Grammys, we performed, or on the Grammys, should I say, we performed at Lollapalooza, we performed at Isle of Wight, at Glastonbury, etc., etc. So that was the beginning of that journey.
I'm a legal alien, I'm a Spanish man in New York. I'm an alien, I'm a legal alien, I'm a Spanish man in New York.
I recently had the great joy, pleasure, and privilege of performing music which will appear on the Amy Winehouse film coming out soon called Back to Black. In the UK, it's released on 12th of April. I'm not sure what date it'll be released in Brazil. Basically, we were working with a really great producer and a lovely person called Giles Martin, who's done a lot of great stuff. He did the score on the Rocket Man film, the Elton John biopic, and he's done a bunch of other great stuff. Anyways, so he called in the original band, and I was very fortunate that Dale Davis, the original musical director with Amy in the period that I was with the band, he invited me to come and perform. And it was wonderful. We went to Abbey Road Studios, and we had a relaxed atmosphere. It was lovely to see the guys again, to see all my fellow band members again, and for us to play these tunes, which by now we are more mature and more experienced as musicians. And it's how do you approach those same tunes, but with greater experience and greater knowledge. And that's what happened. So it was wonderful. We had a great, great time in the studio together. Lots of laughing, lots of joy. And from seeing the clips that I've seen of the movie so far, I think it's going to be really, really cool. The director is Sam Taylor Johnson, and she's a lovely person. She came into the studio. The lead actress who's playing Amy, she came into the studio. She was wonderful as well. So yeah, I am looking forward to going to see the movie on the big screen. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of emotions, I think, as well. And it will be a story that has been well told. That's my prayer.
Morning, wondering what you're up to. As I dressed, I recalled the speak. Your eyes talk to me like glue.
I have had a very, very long love and relationship for Brazil. I have many friends in Brazil, and also right from when I was maybe 5 years old, 4 years old, 6 years old, something like this, my father used to travel to Brazil for business quite a bit, and he'd bring back videos, VHS, of this amazing TV show for us, back to Lagos, Nigeria, called Fantástico. He used to bring back Fantástico, and we loved watching Fantástico. And after a while, they started showing Fantástico just on the TV anyway in Nigeria. So I always had this love from that point of view. And then also, he'd bring back some music sometimes, like cassettes from Brazil. And I can't remember which artists, but I remember I'd hear the cuica, woo, 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 woo. I'd hear this and I'd be like, what is that? As a kid, I was like, what is that? Absolutely fascinated with it. So yeah, my trip to Brazil, every time I come to Brazil, and I've been quite a few times now, that's one of the curious things. Whenever I land at the airport and the air touches my skin, I always feel like I've come home. I don't know why this is. I remember the first time it happened, it felt kind of like weird. It was just like, what does that mean? And I can only think that maybe because South America was connected to Africa when it was all one big continent, maybe that's why. But I always feel like I've come home. So I have a very big connection with Brazil. And I have friends like Patricia Marx, who, as you guys know, is a wonderful artist. Bruno E., who is also a fantastic artist, who is a great friend of mine. And when Trauma Records were around, I used to do a lot of stuff, speaking with the guys at Trauma. So, yeah, and then like in the sense of music, oh man, I mean like Tania Maria, let me see, Aeto Moreira, of course Jobim, and the guys that like people know about, Joyce, and of course things which happened, the collaborations with Wayne Shorter and Milton Nascimento, things like George Duke coming and doing A Brazilian Love Affair. These things are like great, so big fan. In 2014, I performed in Brazil with the band Personal Life. And it was a wonderful trip. It was full of drama. It was full of people having lots of fun. All of us in the band having fun together. It was full of sometimes, not full, but it had one or two moments where people lost their minds. They were just like, oh my God, I'm not happy about this. What the hell is going on? And we had this crazy drive where we drove from Sao Paulo city to Rio overnight. It was like 7 hours driving from Sao Paulo to Rio. And then we went and performed on national TV after that. Crazy. Anyway, so, that was a wonderful experience. Personal Life, my, time performing with them was a pleasure. Robert Strauss, aka Jaffe, was the band leader and the center of it. And there was Stewie Love, who was singing lead vocals. It was a pleasure to come over. Now, we came over in 2014 in the middle of the World Cup in Brazil. Can you imagine? It's amazing to go to Brazil, period. But to go to Brazil during the World Cup, when the World Cup is being held in Brazil, is amazing. So after we finished performing on TV, we then went to Copacabana and hung out at Copacabana. And I have to say, I have never experienced anything like that in my life. How happy everybody was. How people were walking on the streets and smiling at each other. And it was just full of joy. The World Cup was there. Everyone was happy. I was eating some queijo coalho and just enjoying the hell out of myself. It was wonderful. So I have only happy memories of that trip. And after we finished on the beach, everybody went to buy a cigar, even the people who didn't smoke cigars. And we just had a cigar all together to commemorate the moment. And that was wonderful. I am coming to perform in Brazil this month. Yes. So on the 22nd of February, I'll be performing at the Blue Note Club in Sao Paulo. And then on the 23rd of February, I'll be performing my show at the Blue Note Club in Rio. And I'm so looking forward to it. It's very easy for me to understand why international artists love coming to Brazil and fall in love with the music. The amount of history and legacy and beauty in harmony, in rhythm, in expression, in color that is inside Brazilian music, all different types of Brazilian music, is amazing. And for me, as someone who's born in Lagos, Nigeria, as an African, I can hear and feel and connect with the African roots of Brazilian music very, very easily. So then you add on top of the beauty of the music, the beautiful people, you add the beautiful food, you add the beautiful geography and the landscapes. It's irresistible. It's wonderful. So it's going to be just amazing to be back in Brazil. And I'm looking forward to meeting people and us all having fun together at my shows. At my shows at the Blue Note Clubs in Sao Paulo on the 22nd and in Rio on the 23rd of February, you can expect a mix of my original music from my albums and also music that's inspired me by other artists that I love. People like Stevie Wonder, people like Amy. I don't want to tell too many things, but people who I know will have inspired you as well. And I'm going to be playing with voice and piano. It's going to be an intimate experience because people have seen me sometimes at some very big events. And this is a really rare chance for me to do a smaller, very intimate show that only a few people will experience and will remember, which makes it really special when it's not something that everybody everywhere has seen. So it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be funk. There's going to be jazz. There's going to be soul. We're going to sing together and there's going to be a lot of joy. You see my face. I'm a happy guy. It's going to be a lot of joy. All right. See you there. Hola, tudo bem? Hey guys, this is Xantoné Blacq, and I just want to congratulate the wonderful people at Jazzmasters for their 20 years anniversary. Amazing achievement. Thank you for supporting jazz, funk, soul, and great music as a whole. Really, really appreciate it. You're bringing joy to all of us. And I'd like to invite everybody to please come and see me performing in Brazil this month on the 22nd of February at the Blue Note Jazz Club in Sao Paulo at 8 p.m. and on the 23rd of February in the Blue Note Club in Rio at 10 p.m. I look forward to seeing you guys. We're going to have a great show. And once again, congratulations, Jazzmasters.